Yes, they are, and the energy here is just great because all these people are coming off the bus after being stranded there for now practically 5 days up, mostly in Big Thompson Canyon. And I want to get right to Jerry and Eileen Schaefer. First, I have to ask, guys, how are you feeling to be not stranded anymore, be back around others?
It's just, we know that our whole family is safe now. We didn't know that till this morning. So we still have a couple family members up there. We had the campground in Drake right in the middle of Big Thompson Canyon. But it's just, we've got everybody home.
We're home, but
safe.
we were stranded. It happened so rapidly, and you wonder, why didn't you get out? You're sitting there watching TV, you have cell service, phone service, everything, and then it's just gone. And when it is, then the water started rising, and it was almost unfathomable to think that this could happen. So how could we even think we should prepare for this? So that's kind of, what we would say. Right now we're in shock mode of finding who's alive, and right at this minute, everyone that we know is alive and safe. Not home yet, but they're alive and safe.
Explain to me where in Drake you guys are at.
If you go up 13 miles past Kmart on 34, the county road divides, 43 comes in, goes to Glen Haven. We're right at that junction. We had the Drake campground there, and our house is right next to the River Fork stage stop. So we got hit by both rivers.
The back is called the North Fork, which is not controlled by any type of dam service, and then the Big Thompson is. We could tell when they were releasing water out of the dam service because that Big Thompson would begin to just take over Highway 34. It was gone, and then it would go back down. But ours in the back of our home had no control.
Yeah.
So boulders, it would divide into two rivers and then back into one. It was just doing whatever nature allows water to do.
Yeah, the major force that wrecked all of our house came from the Glen Haven Canyon. Is what did the most damage. We got first hit by the Big Thompson came through. And then the only thing we have left standing, I was in the flood in 76, and we added onto our house. We built it up 5 foot higher with a foundation, and that's the only thing we have left is by having that house built up 5 feet. The bottom half of the house got hit, but the upstairs was dry because of that.
We have 4 inches in the crawl space of the 5 foot above floodplain that the engineers required us to do.
My 80-year-old mom was up there. In her house, the water went in one door and out the other. She's safe.
We had a wood door in the floor, just kind of the old 1940, It blew it off like an explosion, and like firemen had just shot 4 hoses into the air. And it found ways to get out just by vents from the heater, vents from the washer and dryer, and left like 5-6 inches of just muddy silt that's gasoline, propane. The smell up there was keeping all of us dizzy and in headaches as propane tanks just, you could just hear them just spewing. So at any minute, we didn't know when it was, things changed at night in the dark.
Yeah, how was it when it got dark and you couldn't see what was around you?
It was horrifying because you can't see your face, hands in front of your face, and he said the same
unless the
way in the
lightning
70s.
flashes, you don't see anything.
Nothing. We didn't have lightning. He did in the 70. What's year? 76 year.
It's been a long couple days, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what day it is now. And but we had no lightning. We had no that kind of storm. So we would hear at night, and the thing would be in our home. We'd hear boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what is that? And they said, that's boulders hitting our home. And then when we wake up the morning, something had massively structurally changed while we were asleep. So that's why you just kind of didn't know, should we sleep on the roof?
As the helicopters were above you today and you found out you were going to be able to leave, what was going through your mind to know you're getting out of there, but at the same time, you're leaving your life behind?
Actually, they flew out Eileen and my mom yesterday on a CenturyLink helicopter.
I want to say thank you to CenturyLink.
Pulled them out. You think about it, but as long as everybody's safe, we have the clothes on our back, we just rebuild again.
That reality hasn't really sunk in yet. We're just glad of life right this minute, and then tomorrow we'll deal with more.
You try to think, if you can go, what can you grab? But there's really nothing. that's really important enough just to get everybody out of there.
Do you guys have
Family
somewhere to
pictures.
stay tonight?
So we have relatives in Loveland, so we're very, very lucky. We're trying to grab everybody that doesn't have family and pack them all in with us. Because people in Storm Mountain did that. They hiked down and got all those that were healthy to hike back up and get into their homes. Didn't care who you were. They took people and put them up in their homes. Babies, everything, saved their lives. So we're very, very thankful. But I do want to stress again, CenturyLink only came up there, landed on the Glen Haven tiny little piece of asphalt and said, no, we're here to assess. We have to assess and prepare the big boys. And I think they realized the big boys may not make it in here. It's too much damage. And then in front of our little Drake post office was another, like a 2-car side-by-side, maybe 2-car rear end. They came in this tight, deep hole, just and came in and just set her right down. I mean, I'm talking just perfect. And it was one of those beautiful CenturyLink company, and they couldn't leave without us. It was like their soul couldn't have not taken someone with them.
Well, we're so glad you guys are safe. Thank you for taking a moment to speak with us, and go enjoy time with your family.
Heading that way.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. You guys take care.
Thank
you. God bless you.
And like Eileen just mentioned, so many stories of just amazing survival coming out of the canyon as more and more people come out. Just about 30 minutes ago, we were hearing from the sheriff's office that about 110 people had been pulled out of the canyon, mostly from Pinewood Springs and from Storm Mountain, but they were going back in and hoping to get another 300 or so more in. You can see more people coming off buses now, and volunteers here saying, signs here staying the night, or if you just need to check in. So the process definitely moving forward, guys, here at Timberline Church in Fort Collins. And again, sun still shining. I can't see, granted we're crowded by buildings, but I can't see a cloud in the sky. So that's good news as rescue efforts continue.
Interesting that they're using the Poudre school buses to bring some of those folks as they get off the helicopter to bring them into the church. And is the church prepared to handle a whole lot of people? Will it be able to keep a lot of people there?
Yeah, they are really well prepared here. And I know just last night they only had a few people. So I think, Mike, what's happening is this is a check-in point. So when they arrive in Crimson Field, they have to come here to check in, and that's how family members know what's going on. But I think from that point, a lot of these people are going to friends or family members, and not as many staying in here tonight.
And Lindsay, I am so struck by, I'm just captivated by those people getting off the bus, just the smiles on their faces. I'm sure you feel the same way.
It's really, really uplifting to see the energy here. We heard it from the sheriff's office. He gave a great thing where he said he actually, it was Nick Christensen, I believe, it was the deputy incident commander who said a 4 or 5-year-old boy was getting onto the bus over at where the helicopters land, and the 4 or 5-year-old boy said to his mom, and I quote, "Sweet mom, I got to ride a helicopter and now I'm on a bus." And that just shows the kind of spirit, here as people lug their suitcases, their animals, they're in clothes that they may have been in for several days. Eileen told me I didn't, dress like a fashionista today because I have been stuck up in the mountain, but really just smiles here all around.
You know what I'm impressed by as I'm looking at this is the incredible. I mean, anybody who's ever sent their kid to camp and then come and pick them up again, I mean, you have that sort of a sense there. And the other part of it is the amount of organization. I saw the signs there for here you can put kennels, and here's information on this, and here's so you can stay over here overnight. Yeah, everything is great.
Yeah, give us a tour a bit, Lindsay, if you could, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just arrived, so I'll be giving my tour as we're seeing this. But as we were here last night, and this is the great thing, if you can find any silver lining in yesterday, because the weather was so bad, they were able to organize here on the ground to make sure things were good. So you can see as you come in here, this is where they've got pets and kennels right as you're dropped off. And of course, a lot of Coloradoans have their animals here. Livestock, obviously, not coming here from people who were able to get anything out, but dogs and cats and smaller animals. And then as you go a little bit further up, you can see we have lovely volunteers here, I think, helping move all the suitcases. So people who cannot pick up their heavy suitcases themselves are helping escort those out to the cars there. And then all the buses dropping people off. Major, if we can kind of show right here. And then if you go in further, inside is where you can actually register with Safe and Well. And that's how they're getting people and dropping that number, because, you know, the unaccounted number was higher yesterday and now is dropped at least by, I think it was about 50 at least, because they're able to cross names and so forth. But Mike, just like you mentioned, I mean, a little bit chaotic, but organized chaos, if you will, because as people come down, they're being shuffled right through, whether their animals need to go one way, their suitcases another, and then checking in with the Red Cross and getting any necessities that they need.